what was your favorite part of New Actor Blueprint?
Um, I would say the variety of stuff covered.
Mm,
Um, that, that a person would need to know as a new actor.
mm-hmm.
Um, the different points and topics that were covered, I think, were like spot on to me as a actor.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that feedback. In acting, a lot of the times we're thinking I just need to upgrade my performance and get better on camera, but there's so much that goes into our acting career. Yes, it's performance, like you said, but it's other things such as business, such as your materials, and really your approach and your outlook. So those are some of the things that we did get a chance to cover in New Actor Blueprint as well. And I'm really glad that you got a chance to really soak in all of those different topics and start applying them towards your career. Which brings me to my next question, Gregory. My next question is, what changes have you noticed in your approach to auditions since completing the program?
Um, I think I'm more prepared. Um, a, a tad bit more as far as like equipment I would need and what to look for when applying to certain gigs. Um, Doing the self tape, what they expect to see
Mm-hmm.
these producers, cast
Mm-hmm.
directors.
And
Yeah, I would
those
say.
self tapes are 99% of our auditions in the industry in TV and film. So that's key that we have a really good understanding about that. So I'm glad that you surmised that from the program and you got a chance to really focus on what these casting directors really want to see from those self tapes and from those auditions. Again, go ahead, drop your questions in the chat, guys, and we will save those. I just have a few more for Greg, and then we will ask your questions as well. My next question, Greg, is how has the community and the group coaching aspect of the program impacted your journey?
I would say some of the people that were I was in the class with were very helpful. And some of the material that was covered, like understanding and getting practice implemented.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um, and then I would say also some of the resources that are offered in the course um, were very helpful as well too with the group coaching and the community that, like I said, I took the courses with the course with. I mean, I'm sorry.
Got you. Got you. Really getting a chance to take what we learned and implement them and put it into action was helpful for you with the community. And even if you were, you had questions, did you find it helpful to have a place where you can really interact with people who went through the same program so you can ask questions for clarity?
Yeah, yeah, some of the online resources that were offered
Mm-hmm.
in the course, I think that was good as well too. Aside of some of the feedback that was given to me by
Mm-hmm.
classmates and the coach yourself.
The community, man, community for me has been such an important part of my journey. And I'm glad that you're getting a chance to really start expanding your community through this program. And I'm looking forward to really seeing what's next for you and the community that comes into your life because of acting. I've met so many great people since being involved in acting. How do you feel? How do you feel now compared to when you first started the program?
I would say I feel a little more confident in submitting and knowing what some of these uh, casting directors want in the
Hmm.
self tapes and kind of like trying to package up my marketing materials for like agents and
Right.
stuff like that. As far as action goes, I think I feel a little more knowledgeable and
Yeah.
more comfortable in proceeding in those lanes.
Good.
That makes sense.
Yep, that makes sense a lot. It now sounds like you have really a solid blueprint and instructions that you can follow so you can really take your next steps in the industry.
Right. for
Just
sure.
about one more question for you, and then we will open the floor for any questions that anybody else has. Go ahead, drop your questions in the chat, guys, and we will ask Greg right after I finish with my next question. Next two questions. My next question is, if you could describe your experience with the New Active Blueprint for anybody that's thinking about joining, how would you describe it?
I would say anybody looking to learn the fundamentals on the action side and the business side of acting or the entertainment industry, that capacity, I would say it's a good course to take um, to get your feet wet and to start trying to book those gigs.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Thank you for communicating that to people who are thinking about joining. Because I know a lot of the times, in anything in life, we don't know what we don't know. So for somebody that has actually went through the program, I know it's very helpful for people to hear your description of the program. My last question for you, Greg, and then we will open the floors for anybody that has any additional questions. My last question for you is, what is next for Mr. Gregory Clark?
I would say just continuing my training, and trying to book more paid gigs or gigs that I can put on my resume to present to potential agents,
Mhm.
and just trying to work, have everything aligned in my marketing materials, and just being immersed in the entertainment,
Yes, sir.
uh, industry and perfecting my craft. I mean, I'm just like a sponge and trying to
Hmm.
take all this thing and get work, So
Yes, sir.
yeah.
For everybody who is watching, I do just want to give you my experience with Greg working with him in New Actor Blueprint. Gregory Clark always completed his homework. He always asked any questions. He asked questions. I was like, man, you asked some great questions, and that allowed him to really get even more out of our discussions, even more out of our resources by utilizing, you know, uh, asking great questions, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer these questions while we are together, while we are in our session. So my hats are off to you, Greg. You put in the work, and I see that, sir. Like, I see when people put in the work, when they are on top of all their homework, when they are going above and beyond, asking great questions. You even called me out one time, like, hey, this video don't play on this, man. Can you get that situated? I'm trying to run that back. So I really appreciate your focus and all of your energy. Right now, I do want to open up the floor for anybody that has any questions for Greg. Go ahead and drop those questions in the chat right now. We'll be watching the chat. And also, if you are interested in joining New Actor Blueprint, go ahead and drop Blueprint in the chat, and I'll give you details on that right after this call. We'll give you a couple seconds to drop your questions in the chat, and then we will get that answered and let Gregory proceed on his journey. I have one question that just came in. It
Okay.
says, what did the course do for your motivation and consistency?
Um, it gave me the building blocks to know what was expected, um, as an actor and how to get paid roles. Um, it just gave me the motivation to keep pushing, keep trying to learn daily to perfect myself and the craft that I must have in this industry.
Awesome. 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 Great question as well. Do we have any other questions for Greg? That was an awesome question. And then if we don't have any more, we will let him go. But I do want to give you guys the opportunity to drop those questions in the chat. And again, if you are interested in joining New Active Blueprint, go ahead and drop Blueprint in the chat as well. And that question just came from Harold. one of our graduates who just got signed with an agent. Congrats again to Harold. All right. Any more questions for Greg? Let us know. And again, Greg, I do appreciate for the time that you spent with us, really giving us some more insight on your journey and on the things that you experienced through going New Active Blueprint.
Oh, no doubt, man. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the opportunity
Of course.
uh, to learn and to collaborate with others, and of course, and to build a foundation to be uh, a working actor
Yes, sir.
um, in the industry. So yeah, for sure.
Why don't you real quick before we get off here?
Mhm.
Cause you're real humble, you know what I'm saying. But we did have a chat, and I heard about a little of the couple of the things that you've done since taking New Active Blueprint. Could you share a little bit with us on some of the action that you've taken in terms of auditions, submitting for auditions, submitting for agents that you've taken since taking the program?
Yeah. Um, during the course, I had did the homeworks, and during that time, I had submitted to a couple projects, and I got booked for one. Um, I got booked
Oh,
for one. It's in the summertime. It's for Minnesota Film. I mean Minnesota Fringe Festival.
gotcha.
Sorry. Um, and then I had also submitted had some self tapes from a couple of casting sites that had to do. Still waiting to hear back from now for some future
Hmm.
films and excuse me, uh, and for some commercials. Uh,
Awesome, awesome. Taking action, taking everything you learned and taking action. That's motivation for me, motivation for all of our community. And again, we really appreciate you for stopping by and answering a couple of our questions. And I'm looking forward to working with you again in our next session, Greg.
all right, thanks so much, man.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you,
Of course.
Errol. And yeah, I'm just looking to see what's on the horizon, and
Yes, sir.
appreciate your time and the training you provided.
Of
And I
course.
like to recommend to anybody else who's looking to tighten up their marketing materials and learn the basics, the fundamentals, I should say, and who's looking to work. So yeah, for sure.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Greg. I'm looking forward to talking to you soon.
All right, for sure, man. Appreciate you.
Of course. Take care.
Yeah, you too.